Courtney and I are still lost at sea. This is the Last Turn podcast. This is the Wrong Turn podcast. Courtney and I are still lost at sea. This is the Wrong Turn podcast.
I like the keep it all in. What?
Yeah.
This is the last turn? We don't know where we are.
All right. I am Edgar with your co-host Courtney, and this is the Wrong Turn podcast, and we're doing our third installment of Lost at Sea so far, and we are watching Death Ship from 1980. Not to be confused with Ghost Ship or
Ghost Boat.
Death Ship, Ghost Boat,
Haunted boat
boat on a ship. Oh, I should have done. Me and Courtney are on a boat.
Oh,
rough.
We're on a boat.
We're on a boat.
That was filmed in Miami, right?
It actually was.
Yeah.
Next to the Continental.
Yeah.
I actually know exactly where that was filmed. It was filmed like right in the heart of like downtown, like right where I went to school, like a few blocks where I went to school.
Yeah, I remember that music video, and it's very Miami.
And they didn't go far. They didn't go to South Beach. They shot in downtown.
Oh, I
South
see.
Beach is across the sea. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We digress.
We already digress.
We're good at that.
1.5 minutes in, and we're already on a tangent. All right. Where do you want to start? First impressions, or do you want to start off with the history?
First of all, I would like to say that we do have a third co-host. The lovely Mishi,
Mm-hmm.
your little doggy that you brought back.
My
You
dog-
brought to LA.
My dog has traversed the skies, not the seas, but the skies, and she's here. And she's already, she's loving you. She's falling asleep.
Yeah, she is. I think she's pretty quiet. I don't know if we'll hear anything from her.
Yeah. So if you hear her interject, it's just her opinion on the movie.
Yeah. All right.
And we have our mascot, the Chainsaw Man, in the background, just working that landscape. So if
We're doing our best here.
yeah, we're pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, as some politicians say. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, nailed it. So you got it.
So, first impressions of Death Ship. Ghost Ship completely knocked off their movie poster, 100%.
I think, actually, no.
All of them.
I think our theme for this, sorry to cut you up, but I think our theme for these movies were actually movies that have the same poster.
I think that came up. Yes,
Yeah,
I think
where we're
we
just like,
decided
we're just going to do
yeah.
all these
haunted boat movies.
as a precursor. They could only be movies that have an ocean liner in them. So no monster movies, out
shark
at sea,
movies.
no shark movies. I'm pretty sure there's a couple still more in the oeuvre of this genre, but I don't know if we're going to get to them.
Exactly.
Like Hardware. I don't know if you've seen that one. Is it Hardware or Firmware or something? I think there's a famous actress in one of these. But yeah, regardless. All right, so first impression.
So we're introduced to
Captain Aslan.
Captain Ashland or Asland?
If somebody says Aslan, I'm like, the fucking lion?
Like the fucking lion? The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Yeah.
The Chronicles of Narnia?
Yeah.
But we're also introduced to the Death Ship because there's lots of German in the beginning, which we find out later. But yes, we have the how would we describe this captain? Bitter.
I have a description.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote down Captain Aslan's a dick. He's a dick.
He's just straight up a dick, and there's nothing. He's just like dick.
He's
the most unlikable character.
He's bitter from the start. So let's run it through our cast of characters real quick.
You have the captain, and he is on his retirement voyage. This is his last voyage.
We
on the
got
ship.
George Kennedy Jr. playing Captain Aslan. He's an Academy Award winning actor.
Do you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Michael McKean. He's in Better Call Saul as Bob Odenkirk's brother.
Oh, McKinney. Yeah.
McKinney?
I know who you're talking about.
Is it Michael McKinney?
From Spinal Tap.
And this is Spinal Tap.
I worked with his son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He looks exactly like
but that's just like, because that guy's a fantastic actor, Mike. And so, I mean, this captain does pretty well.
George Kennedy. He's better known for being the funny guy on Naked Gun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, okay. he has a voice and he has a presence.
He sure does.
I think all these actors, like after a certain date, like I think a lot of these actors just have a gravitas to their voices. I don't know if it's the cigarettes and the booze, but like they could hold it. Just something about their voices in general. But let's go through it. So George Kennedy playing Captain Aslan, Richard Crenna playing Trevor Marshall. He's also known for playing the general in Rambo. He's also known for a bunch of other stuff. So these actors are like known actors. Then we have Nick Mancuso playing Nick. He's the third steward. Sally Ann Howells playing Margaret Marshall, Captain or Trevor Marshall's wife. She is also known for playing in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with Dick Van Dyke.
That is okay. Yep.
So these are actors.
Yeah. No, they're actors. They're actors. It's not. I mean, it's a B movie, but
yeah, it's a straight B movie. So it's really funny, like how they landed in this film. Victoria playing Lori, and then
the two kids.
The two kids, Saul Rubnik playing Jackie, which, if you need like a point of reference, this is the guy from the director in True Romance, and he's been in a bunch of other stuff. So you've seen these faces before. But yeah, these essentially are most of our main characters. And the two kids, they play minor roles, but I feel like we never saw these kids ever again.
The kids bum me out.
The kids are like weird.
Yeah.
It's
so they're the beginning of this movie, like I mentioned, it is the captain's final voyage. He's retiring, and they're throwing him a party, and he's, like Edgar said, a dick. But in his defense, this party seems really lame.
His first line in the movie is like, you're off by 2 degrees.
I know.
Like he's freeballing it with his eyes, like looking at the sea at night. He's looking at the sea at night, and he's like, you're off by 2 degrees. He's
like, and then like goes, red eye, sir. Like he's like fixes it immediately.
Yeah. How would you even know?
Yeah.
All right. So they're throwing a party. He's really bitter. He's just like, I can't believe it's just been taking these people back in a circle or whatnot. I'm like, what else are you supposed to do on a boat? Like,
yeah, you're a captain. You take.
We're a little bit lost for words because there's sex scene going on right now.
I'm sorry. Oh my god, I was just couldn't. Lori and Nick, there are two little like young.
They're 40.
They're young. I said young. You go. They're 40. They are.
I'm 40.
I'm 40. They're like the hot, but they're the hot couple in the movie. They're the love interest.
And they're going at it.
They are.
It's full tongue.
It's funny too because there was some moaning put in that scene that does not match either one of them, which I find very funny because like
ADR
you see
moaning,
like her tongue like fully in his mouth.
Oh yeah, 100%. They were. I was like, are they acting? I don't know. I don't think they're acting.
I don't think they're. I think they. Well, were enjoying themselves.
They thought they were shooting a different movie. The camera guys are like,
camera guys like, you
the boom guys like.
I know that monkey mask was real sexy.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. So not to mention,
Nick had because it's a party, but nowhere was it ever said it's a Halloween party. However, it is like a Halloween party.
It's a costume party or a carnival party or some shit like that.
Party, because the kids are dressed up as pirates. Like people have funny wigs on.
And he's wearing a monkey mask, and he's wearing his captain's
Nick was
uniform.
wearing a monkey mask, and then him and Lori ran off, and then they started.
Yeah, she's dressed as a Romani. Yeah, she's like, a lady or a genie or something.
Genie,
and they run off, and then as soon as they get into the room, she starts making out with him as he's still wearing the mask. And I'm like, already?
Yeah.
There was no lead up. They were just full.
Because we're just meeting these characters for the first time. We're just like,
They
these
said
two.
nothing.
They said nothing. to
Nothing.
one
There's
another.
no set. This movie's a little weird.
Yeah, it is a little odd like that.
It is a Canadian production or an associated with Canadian production. So I think they got government money for this movie. It is a B movie directed by Alvin Rakoff. This is the only horror movie that he made,
Okay.
which is unusual. You know, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, usually we got people that. That's
You know,
funny. I didn't know that. Okay.
And he's made some other movies, made some other like action type of B movies that, and it is written by Jackie Hill, who is also known for, creating a bunch of other B movies like Switchblade Sisters, which I think I mentioned on another podcast, and, Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown.
And so Jackie Hill's known for writing Foxy Brown. So that's kind of cool. So this movie has like people that know what they're doing behind it.
Yes.
But yeah. And then we keep getting glimpses to
The Death Ship.
Death Ship, which
It's
is
being, sailed. Oh my god, by itself. 'Cause ghosts.
it's trailing them.
It's trailing them.
And Death Ship, great name for a band.
Death Ship.
100%.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I don't even know if there is one, but if there's not,
If
there
there's
should
not,
be one.
we'll start one.
Yeah. Death Ship.
Death Ship.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our cast of characters. We have our ships. So this is basically a cruise ship, and they're being and we start off with Death Ship. So like, there's no easing into it.
There isn't. Like I said, they're at this party for the captain, and then suddenly they're just like, "Wow, this ship's coming at us."
Ship's coming at us.
Like it's trying to hit us. All these people are saying
They're trying to get away from it, but as they get away from it, it just keeps trailing them. And
also, weren't you the only? I mean, I totally thought it was an iceberg. I was like, "Are we doing like Titanic things here?" But
yeah,
the little radar that's showing up.
It looked like an iceberg.
It looked like an iceberg. I was like, it's supposed to be the Death Ship, but okay.
But I'm like, it's a weird. But I guess like it's a weird setup because like I said, we're the only real characters we're introduced to are
the family,
the captain, and then even though we're supposed to be invested in the young couple, like I feel like they just threw the sex at us like right away. It
really doesn't. You don't build to anything.
Well, it's really weird to be like invested in this young couple that are going at it. She's raw dogging that monkey mask, and then we cut to the kids that got to go pee.
And then they're in the bed, and the kid, yeah, exactly.
So I'm just like, what am I supposed to feel here right now?
I know, like you're really throwing me off.
Yeah. And then we got the Death Ship like 1 second.
Death Ship's like 1 second from hitting us. I was like, I can't really wrap my head around what's going on.
So fun fact. So when the Death Ship finally hits the boat, they intersected these scenes from another movie.
Yes, I noticed that.
Hey. So I was like, when I saw this crash happen, I was like, the production value is amazing.
I know. You're like, whoa, like this is like, but then you could totally see that the voiceover and everything like that and the other actors aren't saying the correct words. It's just like, it's all dubbed.
I would love to shoot a crash scene like in a room where an earthquake where everybody just has to act like the floor is shaking.
Ooh. But no, like Edgar was saying, there's some great shots right here, but then you do realize it's taken from a different movie.
The Last Voyage is what that movie was called. Yeah. So just like,
because I too, right in the middle of this movie, I was like, oh my god, this got really
the crash is intense. So they actually have a boat crashing into another boat, or I don't know, the engine room filling up, people,
water.
People scrounging to get out, like the floor opening up and like debris and pianos falling like two levels.
The ship is destroyed.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh. I'm like, for a second, I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, I'm into this for a second. And then we cut to they're floating on water and on like
I know. Then you're just like, oh, I see. You're like, I see what happened here.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, they spent all their money getting the rights to that.
Like you said, all of a sudden they're on the little floaty in the middle of the sea.
And I was for a second, I'm like, is that a sanctioned lifeboat? This is a square. I don't know what this is.
Where did they get that?
Yeah, I was like, is that an actual lifeboat or is that just like a piece of like stage like I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but so
So the only survivors are the family. So the guy that was going to be taking over the ship, his family, so his wife and kids, and then Lori and Nick.
Captain Marshall, Marshall's family, Nick, and
then Jackie, the comedian guy.
Yeah, the comedian. And the older lady.
Yes, I forgot about her.
The older lady is I forgot her name is Kate Reed as Sylvia Morgan. There you go. And she was the little bit. She had like a weird line. She's like, "My husband's dead, and he always wanted to sail on the sea, but I'm here on the boat." In his. I'm like,
when she was talking to the captain.
Yeah, it was a weird line. And then, so they're out there floating, and then they come across Captain
Ashland, we don't know.
Yeah. He's like the only other survivor that like floats up to the water. I mean, they could have done some great stuff, as far as like you could introduce some characters that died, in the crash and all this stuff. But no, it's just bing bam boom.
It's just that crash killed everybody but the people that we met.
Like,
So the people that had sex, the captain, the family, like everyone else just dead.
Yeah. And there's going to be a scene here in a second where I don't know how they didn't notice it, but all of a sudden the death ship creeps up on them. And
yes.
I would have noticed.
It's so good too. The green screen's like,
no, that's not green screen. That's real.
No, when you look at it with the ship.
No, it's real. There's no green screen. They couldn't afford any of that stuff.
I guess.
This is Canadian tax money.
But, okay, no, because it's coming up shortly here, and maybe I just was not paying attention close enough.
Yeah, they're all huddled in the water, and like, that's real.
Okay. You're right.
The only reason I could think of why that raft is square shaped is so they could put a camera on it.
Oh,
so they can film inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that.
And this shot was a lot like the shot that was in the movie Triangle,
exactly.
But they actually did it. But they did it much better. They
actually did it. They did it better than they did in Triangle. That's stupid. Remember that guy?
Years in the past, and they were able to do something that we weren't able to do.
I know. That is exactly what I thought too. It was a very similar shot in Triangle, which we just covered.
So our hats are off to you, Alvin Rakoff,
yes.
and any cinematographers that worked on this movie, Renee Venzer, who were able to pull off this shot from one boat to the other and not make it look cheap.
Yeah, they look. That's great.
Yeah,
looks great.
That's all you had to do.
That's all you got to do. For some reason, Triangle couldn't figure it out.
I didn't think they had the water. I don't think they
had the water.
I don't think they had the ocean. I think the ocean liner in Triangle was all CG.
Oh yeah, it was for sure.
Okay, so
now I will say that I do enjoy this ship. All the exterior, all the interior, every room that you see in this ship, I really like.
It looked like they made the death ship look very menacing.
Yeah,
like either that or it was always looks like that. Like I don't know if they painted it black, but it looked pretty fucking badass. Then also very similar to Triangle. They pulled up on just this, what is it? This stairway.
They just have like
that would essentially be docked at the port.
Yeah, that was always how you would get on and off the ship.
And they just pull up to it, and get on, be like, oh, look, some stairs. Not weird at all.
Not weird at all. But I mean, there's nothing right away that's like alarming. It's just kind of a spooky ship. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, if I was stuck out at the ocean, I'm like, oh, sweet, a boat. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
which is just what they're doing.
Same thing in Triangle.
Yeah, it's just like,
oh, look, a boat. Yeah, let's go.
But is it a bit odd? Yeah, but we're gonna go with it.
Well, it was also the weird thing was that the windows. So we find out in about a second that this boat is haunted. Mm-hmm. But the windows open.
The windows, and you're viewing it from like as if a person's standing in the window looking at them.
But it's just the ship. The ship.
But it's just the ship. Exactly. The ship's alive.
The ship's alive, and it has eyes, and the windows are the eyes.
The windows are the eyes of the ship.
I'm like, okay.
See, this right here is a little shot like at the window opening, and we're looking at Nick.
Yeah, I would have
just kind of walking around the ship right now.
I would have been down for some ghosts on the ship.
I know, I would have too, and I don't think it would have been that hard.
Unless there are ghosts on the ship. I mean, we kind of get.
You see you see like the dead bodies.
You
but
hear things.
You hear things, but you're never really.
You never think they're ghosts.
No.
Yeah. And I do like how these kids are doing their own stunts.
Yeah.
These kids,
They just were like, climb that fucking ladder.
Yeah, they made this kid climb a ladder.
And then this kid has to pee again.
Yeah.
This kid pees a lot.
I mean, it's the ocean. I just would have peed on outside of the,
Exactly.
or would have, you know.
But then he doesn't even find a bathroom.
He doesn't. He goes around a corner and then he pees from in the corner out.
Exactly. And then the little girl's like, dude, we have to find a washroom because, they're Canadian.
I would have loved this if the boat just had it out for the kid because he peed on the
boat. I know. I would have really been taking a fun turn.
And this kid can barely keep his shit together. He's about to crack up right now.
Yeah.
And the girl too.
Yeah.
And was it Sylvia, the older lady?
The older lady.
I always like the kind of like
so
the old
dramatic.
Yeah. So oh my god, I'm so exhausted.
So excited. I climbed that ladder.
Oh, we've been through such turmoil.
Oh, I also love this right here.
This was so much. This was so
This
extra.
is so much.
This is
Trying to get he's literally giving him pick me up, guys, pick me up. So Nick and
Marshall
are picking up the captain, and now the captain's a full on just mannequin right here.
Yeah. Either that or he's a real skinny dude.
Look.
They're taking him up these stairs. I guess we have to explain how we get him up here.
Exactly.
So they make this whole elaborate scene because the way
they're carrying the captain.
I mean, he doesn't look like a mannequin in some of those scenes.
But right there, though.
But Ghost Ship fucks with them.
Death Ship
and just drops the stairs.
Drops the ladder, the stairs, and so all three of them are in the water now.
It's
Laurie goes to grab a emergency.
See, but knowing what I know about Death Ship, were you trying to kill these guys, or you just didn't want any men on board?
Yeah.
I don't really get Death Ship's motivation.
Death Ship's very confusing.
Death Ship's giving me mixed signals.
Death Ship's really giving me mixed signals. I don't know if they really want to be committed.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you want us on board? You don't want us
on board? Do you not?
Because later we find out Death Ship runs on blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do want?
Do you want our blood?
You want our blood?
You don't want our blood.
Or do you?
Vampire Death Ship?
Vampire? Oh.
Interesting.
But also much similar to the Ghost Ship, because the Ghost Ship also ran on ghosts.
Run on ghosts? Yeah, run on the souls. Yeah, but Death Ship runs blood. Or sacrifice. So it's like a...
Because, we do find out shortly, it's a Nazi ship.
Yep. SS does not stand for sailing ship in this movie.
Sure does not.
No, it does not.
Oh, man, when we get to that room.
It's intense.
It's very
I would imagine being a prop designer making this. You imagine? I would have felt very
I would have been, I would have felt very conflicted. And what I said to you earlier, unsettling.
So there's a reason this movie has a cult following.
Exactly.
I think it is that it just has these real unsettlingness to it. Is that a word?
Yeah, I told you I was unnerving, unsettled, because there's a lot of it in this beginning and what we're going through right now that's just kind of it's any sort of B movie.
And it is 1980, but I feel like this is coming off the 70s and kind of that trippiness that you would have in a lot of those movies, like you'd mentioned earlier.
I mentioned A Clockwork Orange.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So we do get to some of these kind of really, really trippy scenes that kind of instill people losing their minds. Nick loses his fucking shit. Laurie loses his fucking... They both,
Nick and Laurie, really, their demise is quite, again, dare I say, unsettling.
Yeah. So, Death Ship's fucking with them. Eventually, all the men get on board, even though they have to climb the ladder, and Captain Aslan is conscious but not conscious or whatever. And then all of a sudden Nick kind of stumbles around the ship and he sort of gets the little glimpses of everybody gets foreshadowed their death at one point, or at least some of them do, except for
you do see
Jackie right here.
But I guess when I first watched this, I didn't quite make it out that it was Nick. I just I was like, oh, that probably was like we're just foreshadowing that he's gonna die.
Or it could have been just like.
But at first I was like, why?
There before?
Exactly. That's what I kind of thought. Or like
glimpses of the past. I thought that would be cool too.
Yeah.
Like this is what happened on the ship before.
Exactly. And then obviously, as we know later, it just is foreshadowing how Nick dies.
Okay. So
now Jackie, the comedian,
is the first one that gets done in by Death Ship.
Mm-hmm.
I do just
and the dumbest. I was like confused.
Oh, this Oreo scene.
Yeah,
because he gets dunked and then he gets pulled back up.
So he's got a hook grabbed him, and so he's flailing up in the air, and the ship's tossing him all over the place, and he gets dunked in the water. And that's what I thought that was it for him.
I thought I was just gonna drown him.
Me too.
That would have been cool.
I would have been cool.
Oof.
I was like, that would have been a little funky, but I would have liked it.
Being kind of metal, just like
it would have been kind of metal,
just
like forcing him to drown, and then everyone else just kind of standing around like.
Because when it pulls him up, he starts moving again.
Exactly. I thought that's what they did, and they pulled him up, and he starts moving, and I'm like, oh, he's not dead. And then they kill him in the lamest way possible.
Yeah, so like these scenes are a little drawn out. Hence, like where they go up the stairs and then they fall, and then they got to climb up the ladder again. I'm like,
yeah, it's just like a whole lot of time.
A lot of time.
Remember in Ghost Ship they had so many meetings. Like there's so much going on. It's like, oh, see. Now they're just dragging Jackie. Like, I thought he was supposed to be dead. I'm like, cool, they drowned him.
Yeah.
But here we go.
That would have been it. Because, also, Jackie has no flexibility because he just would have been able to grab his own foot. And
I know. Just no strength whatsoever. You can't even,
Men were made differently back then.
Okay. You know what? Let's not be judgmental.
No, it's fine.
Death Ship is at it again with that old little...
Oh, Death Ship.
Oh, Death Ship.
So instead they'll take, which I don't understand it. Like, I kind of get this part. Like, maybe they were using Jackie as like, I need some gas. I need to kill somebody right away.
Yeah.
I run on blood.
I'm going to prove
sacrifice. It. So Death Ship dunks Jackie again in the water. This time he drops him, turns on the engine, and Jackie gets sucked into the bottom, which is... kind of shitty. No,
it is shitty, but I guess I just wish they would have done it the way that I thought they were going to kill him. Cool. Just kind of drown him, like, bloop.
Yeah. The other thing that kind of gets me right now is right after Jackie's death, nobody mourns him. Nobody talks about him. Everyone's
just like, we should go inside this ship now.
Yeah, exactly. They just go on their merry way. They never mention
never mention this man ever again.
Poor Jackie.
No, they're just like, oh, man, that wasn't traumatizing at all.
Fun fact about the director, still alive.
Wow.
He's 96 years old.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Damn.
100%.
I don't know if I want to be that old.
Still living off the royalties off this.
Man, we just scored him a couple cents.
This Ghost Ship.
With this
paying dividends.
Death Ship.
Sorry, Death Ship.
It's Death Ship. There's just too many haunted ships. Right,
that's why Triangle wasn't called Triangle Ship.
No.
Whatever. You needed something to stand out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or Time Ship, Death Machine. I don't know. I got nothing.
Loop. I don't know.
A looper.
The looper. The looper. Okay. So, like Edgar said, they just completely move forward. They're like, all right, well,
move forward.
Jackie's dead. Onto the ship we go.
Onto the ship we go. Nick is the only one that kind of just like starts to explore the ship on the top deck while everybody kind of goes inside. Nick notices that the ship it's weird. It seems to be stirring itself, steering.
Is it steering itself? Okay, I don't know.
Or is it just flailing on the wind? Right? What did they call that? The mast? What do they call it? The big wheel?
I like the big wheel.
The big wheel that drives the ship.
Steering wheel of the ship. There is a word for it, but I can't think of it. And so they're exploring the ship. They find bunk beds. They find the quarters where everyone slept. It's not that gross. It's just very cobwebby.
It's just very cobwebby. And Robert Crenna he has like he's got a presence.
He sure does.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know why. I don't know, because I mentioned Better Call Saul, but a little bit like a Bryan Cranston kind of thing going on with this guy.
Oh,
like
the beard?
The beard, and just like you said, a presence. He has one.
Yeah.
He really does.
And, you know, in a second when they're going to find clothes and they're going to boil their own water in a second. I'm just like, I never would have. And the little kid tries to drink the water.
Oh my God, that cracks me up.
Where he just like pours.
Like they just turn on the sink. It's disgusting, filthy. And the little boy's got a cup. It's like, yum, yum, yum. And the mom's like, no, don't drink that. We have to boil it first.
So they essentially get settled down and Robert Crenna gets himself a double neck sweater and he can wear the shit out of it.
He wears the shit out of that sweater.
It's like
good choice for the Death Ship.
Death Ship's got a wardrobe.
I also do. They got to work because Lori makes a really like. Remember, she goes, "I'm gonna go find us some clothes," and I was like, "Why is that important right now?"
They wanted to get dry. I mean, they've already been at. Who knows how long they've been at sea? Yeah, they would have dried out in the sun.
I know, but I just like thought that it was just really minor thing to be like food. Some sort of contact, like, you know, a radio.
I mean, she's not a sailor. She wouldn't have known.
She's not a sailor.
She
just was on a cruise ship hooking up with one of the guys. She wasn't seeing this.
They thought it was a fling.
Yeah. You know? Remember, she was like, don't fall in love with me.
Oh, yeah. But now they're trauma bonded.
Yeah. Oh, they sure have trauma bonded.
Yeah. Oh, She's
like, yeah.
She reacts. She's also trauma bonded. I found her, so she's trauma bonded.
It's true. You did find her.
And then we are introduced to our spirits of the ship, and we get this reverse shot where everything's upside down, which is actually kind of it's done in a lot of movies when they do a lot of like evil presences. They tend to film upside down.
Yes.
I know they did it in. There's a slew of movies that have done it. Kind of like we're looking at something unworldly or something from underneath. And all of a sudden, Captain Aslan starts hearing all this German speech, which there are no subtitles for. So we have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
All we know is Das Boot is on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he gets possessed. And Nick gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. I honestly thought Nick died right there.
I thought that was Nick's death scene.
Because that is a gnarly fucking hook that just right to the back of the head.
Dude, I totally thought.
Yeah, I thought that was it for him.
Which was weird because we are foreshadowed Nick's death. But all right, that's just more thought.
Yeah, but that was just when I
think we're giving him more thought than.
Yeah, we really are probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nick just is passed out up on the deck. And the rest of the people are still just wandering on the ship again, finding more rooms, more corridors.
No, he gets hit in the back of the head and he falls like
Nick. No, that's why I thought he died.
Feet and like on his back.
And they show the bloody fucking hook. That's why
I didn't see the blood. No.
Yeah, so I was like, I just thought that Nick was donezo. Also, Lori doesn't care about Nick at all.
Why?
Because she doesn't talk about him or mention him or even nothing until later.
Maybe she just keeps those feelings close to her chest.
Okay, I don't know. I just would expect more from her.
Like, where's Nick?
Yeah, a simple, where did Nick go?
Yeah, 100%. Because what is it? Because a fair amount of stuff happens between where like Nick gets passed out or knocked unconscious. And then Nick gets revived or Nick comes back and like a bunch of shit has already happened.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. Like, hey, let's just knock off Nick for a second.
Oh, but like, I'm just trying to go with, they gave us that they were in love right away at the beginning of this movie. Like,
I mean, you can't have it all, right? Also,
sure. Here comes the water scene.
Also, Margaret Marshall's dress kind of upset me. I don't know. I don't
get it.
I think she was supposed to be a Chiquita Banana for Halloween. And
is that what do you think she was for Halloween? Because like, once again, it was some sort of dress-up party that they were having on the cruise ship.
I mean, was it supposed to be a Halloween party? So hence like a Halloween movie. But I
also thought she looked like a little late to the 4th of July party or something.
Oh yeah, but
it's the
she's
banana
like a flamenco dancer
better.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, is it Halloween? But the movie was released in March. And it was only released in 3 states. Released in Texas, Florida, and what was it? Somewhere else? I can't remember right now. But yeah, it's interesting.
The water scene. So yeah, the little boy just like takes. It's just disgusting brown water, about to drink it, and mom's like, "No."
Even at that kid's age, I wasn't that.
Yeah,
young.
he's like 9.
I mean, I also was from an age where we drank
out of the hose.
We drank out of the hose. We drank water like at public parks, you know, from the water fountains, you know, whatever. But like brown water, green water, I'm good right now.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So And then Margaret starts to basically set up the kitchen. There is electricity on this boat. We do find out this boat runs on blood.
Runs on blood. And so it just got some fresh blood from Jackie. So, the water works now. The electricity's on.
Yeah. And then Lori decides to...
Lori's looking for clothes.
That's right. That's right. She's looking for clothes and
she hears a record playing and it's spooky.
They think there's still somebody on the boat, so they go looking around. They do notice that a lot of the stuff on the boat is 40 years old. Hint, hint.
It's 1980 and it's 40 years old. What happened in the 1940s? It was very significant.
I do like was it Family Guy? Where they go to Germany and be like, what happened from 1940 to 1944? Be like, nothing. We had a good time. It was fine.
Yeah. Shh. Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
Don't mention the war.
So Lori's getting some spooky vibes, which if this was a haunted house on a boat, I'm totally for it.
No, that's what I told you. I love all the exterior ship. Like, the ship's cool. It's cobwebby. It's dark. It's grimy. And
for a second, I wasn't feeling a lot because there wasn't a lot of mood lighting. But the further we get into the movie, the more mood lighting that is incorporated. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I'm really starting to dig some of these scenes.
Yeah.
But before that, it's just full daylight, full bright white. And I'm just like, I felt. But then again, it's a B movie, so we can't ask too much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you said that they were overthinking, it's like, yeah, we probably
are. We're overthinking, but that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Lori's starting to get like she's feeling like there's a presence, starting to follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if it's a ghost, I don't know why it needs to use doors.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Again, it's the ship, because we never see a ghost. Do we?
No, we never see a ghost.
I was like,
but we hear a ghost.
You hear them.
Or we hear echoes of what happened through the speakers.
Through the speaker of what happened, yes.
Yeah. So they're still getting settled in. So
they're still getting settled in. They're bringing in. So the captain, by the way, is clearly, you're guessing at this point that he's possessed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still just not right. But they did find the clothes, and now everyone's changing their clothes.
And for some reason, like these sailor tunics, but these little kids are wearing also look like little Romans. They look like little Romans now.
Yeah.
I was like, what are these tunics these kids are wearing?
These little Roman children.
Yeah, look at these little, with these open.
Oh, you're right.
Open collars, like these square rope. Yeah, it's a little unusual. So everybody's getting settled in. They got hot water. There's no food. But, they're able to rest.
There's beds.
Yeah. So
there's a very cobwebby phone, and then there isn't a cobwebby phone.
And you're right. I mean, I did notice that, still, Lori still hasn't asked about Nick, even though everybody's getting settled in.
She hasn't said a single thing. Where did Nick go?
Yeah. The phone rings, and then Marshall walks up to it and just who is there?
And they would think maybe this phone works. Oh, but he goes, it's probably Nick. Is Nick upstairs, prank phone calling them? So we go back to Nick, and he is still alive. He just got, for how hardcore that was, him falling and getting whacked in the head like that. Fine. Not even a bump.
I mean.
Again, B movie.
I've bumped my head on, countless things, and yeah, I'm sure I got a lot of internal damage. So, but Nick just walks it off.
No, Nick's fine.
Yeah. And then we keep getting glimpses of.
So, yeah, this is when you kind of get the feeling that the captain's being sort of possessed by whatever spirit. I guess that's the only spirit that you really see, but then it kind of possesses the captain.
Does it possess him or does it influence him? I mean, because he's not possessed. There's nothing. He's not a different person. He's still the same captain.
Exactly. He just is captain of the death ship.
Yeah.
Because he just basically takes it over.
Mm-hmm. Which is I like that premise. He's the death ship needs a captain.
Yeah. God, and now we have Marshall in this fantastic turtleneck.
Oh.
The turtlenecks in this movie.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden, Death Ship starts fucking with everybody as they're stuck in the what is it the first aid center or whatever.
Yeah, the nurseries. There's another word for it, and I can't remember.
The only possible reason I think they knocked out Nick was just so he could not be there when they get closed in, and he could just open the door for him.
Yeah, probably.
So they get trapped inside this room, and then all of a sudden they get a little freaked out because they can't open
the
any
door
of the
locks,
doors. And then Nick's just on the other side, and he just opens it very easily.
Yeah.
And
then they just put a chair in front of it. Solved.
I like how that's the easy way to just deal with ghosts.
But like, if that were us on the ship, once again, we'd be like, just put a chair in front of the door.
Put a chair in front of it. Yeah, don't
let it close because it's a little sticky.
Yeah. So Marshall and Nick go to the captain's quarters, or not the captain's quarters, but the bridge, and they start looking through all the cartography stuff and all the navigation equipment and stuff like that. And I don't know why they didn't realize none of it was in German to begin with. You think you would have noticed that first. Hey, I can't read this. This looks like German.
Not English.
Yeah. Hey, this stuff's 40 years old. Yeah.
And the thing is, German.
Like that paper right there. That paper that they're looking at right there. And they're noticing the ship's going around in circles. I don't know how he knows that because he's just looking at a map or whatever. And there's nothing written on the map.
There's no circle.
there's no circle.
But for some reason, he was like, we keep going in circles. I'm like, cool. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Everything is in German.
You should have said everything's there's a sign back behind him that's in German.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it says SS on it.
And I'm sorry. Even if you don't speak German, you know what German looks like.
Or, what an SS symbol looks like.
That. Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun fact. That's funny though, because then they do find World War II magazines. Or no, They find magazines from the 40s, and they do talk about World War II. They don't say that these magazines are in German, but there are references to Hitler. And Hitler has an uncredited feature on IMDb on this page.
I didn't even look at
for this movie. Sorry, I don't know. Has an uncredited title on this movie, which I don't know why.
That's bonkers.
That's weird.
I feel like we shouldn't be watching this now.
I think we should turn this off. Part.
I think that is part of the unsettling part
on the
of it.
IMDb cast, Hitler's at the bottom, and he says uncredited. And I don't know, it's because they play
at one point they play a short film that does have Hitler. And there's also when we get to the Nazi room, that's just there's a shrine. For
a second, I thought it was the shrine.
But when you said that, I thought of the shrine.
I thought of the painting. Yeah,
the painting
I
they
was
have.
The uncredited because of the painting.
It's the uncredited, but that also made me really uncomfortable thinking that deserved a
fuck.
Right?
So we feel awkward now.
So now we're thinking we might just turn this off and call it a day.
Bye. Just kidding. Not to beat a dead horse, but Nazis are bad.
Nazis are bad, and that's not a joke. It's not a fucking joke.
That's not a joke. Yeah.
Don't punch Nazis in the face.
If we lose some listeners because of this,
that's fine.
It's
Please get away from me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Mishy's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she also doesn't like Nazis.
She doesn't like Nazis. Okay, but back to the death ship. So they find they find the old film camera, which I think is cool. I did like this part of it.
No, we started leading up to some cool stuff.
Yeah, now but it's still unsettling though.
So if this is an SS ship and they get to what the little boy calls a movie house, right? And then they play this movie, but this movie's in English.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any Germans would have watched any English.
Exactly. I know. I caught onto that too. I was like, oh.
I mean, if they would have cut out those English speaking parts and it was just a dance, a music video,
just a little,
which it turns into, right? It turns into a little music video. I'm all for it. That would have been fine because they're essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to mislead you, right? They're not trying to let you know that it's an SS ship just yet. But I also because we need to talk about what's coming up here. All right, so we're back in the infirmary. And then Sylvia, she's just so dramatic. She's taking care of Aslan, and she's just looking so was it nurturing? She's just looking at him with a heavy heart, like
heavy heart, and she has like the little towel, and she's patting him down because he's been sweating.
So concerned.
She's like, but she doesn't owe this man. Oh well, I guess
the captain.
Well, he's the captain, and there was that beginning scene where she's talking about her husband. So I think she probably feels like she
this
caring for him, like she needs to be like
right here, just looking at him,
Yes, oh my goodness.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Because he just made a sound, and she was like, shh, 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 shh,
yeah, hand on his head,
Like,
then
quiet.
she eats some candy off the death ship.
Okay, and she eats some candy from the death ship.
I wouldn't have eaten
candy on the death ship.
Some 40-year-old candy.
And it was like a old nasty peppermint.
Yeah. A jar, which...
Did she eat two? She eats two, I thought.
She eats one, and then we are given a glimpse of the peppermint jar, and we're just like, look at this peppermint jar. And I'm like, it doesn't look like a menacing peppermint jar.
It doesn't. That's why I was like a little
menacing.
confused what happens to her. Because I thought she was gonna fucking just choke on some peppermints.
That would have been fine.
Like, that's kind of what I thought they were building up with it.
But actually what happens to her is a lot worse.
It is a lot worse.
So, little boy, which his name is... Oh, yes, right. Ben runs over to the infirmary, pulls Sylvia out. She's like, come look at the movie. Come look at the movie. And she's just like, shut up, little boy. And then
she goes with him. She's like, a movie?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I just being a dick. She goes with him. And I really like the way they'd filmed that. They basically go in, and she's shrouded in shadow while everybody's still watching the movie.
Yeah.
You realize that she basically just in a matter of minutes
from eating the candy.
I don't know if she rotted or she just has. What do you think? Like anaphylactic shock? She swells up?
I would say rotted, based on what on the makeup artist design that they did on her face. But you're right with this scene. It is cool that she is completely left in a shadow and everyone else is in a spotlight. And then you see the little girl turn around and just freak the fuck out because she sees her face.
Yeah.
Like, ah!
And they only show it for a second, and then after
then you don't really get. That was like the only really good shot was kind of that.
Yeah, is the profile shot of it, and then after that you just see her at the back of her head.
Yeah, you see a little bit more when she runs back to the captain.
But nobody tries to fucking help her.
No one.
Everybody runs away from her.
Everyone just screams and runs away from her.
And still, they watched a movie after Jackie got sucked in by the bottom of this
exactly.
boat. They didn't give a fuck about Jackie.
They didn't give a fuck. Jackie was like, fuck that guy. He's like gone.
Yeah. So
and now this woman is, like you said, rotting. I would say rotting.
She looks like she's rotting. And then she runs over to the infirmary, and Captain Aslan is there to greet her. And I thought this was a little overkill right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Aslan just proceeds to just choke her.
Yeah, just like very... And that's... I mean, maybe that's why they made this captain just so unlikable right from the beginning. Because you kind of... This is what happens to him. So it was easier just to be like, this guy sucks this entire movie?
I mean, but she's already dead. Like, she's.
But also, he thinks he's strangling
a sailor.
A sailor. An American sailor?
I don't know, actually.
But he's actually strangling her. So she does. I mean, she was going to die anyway.
Yeah.
With her rotting skin from the peppermint candy. It felt like a step.
Yeah. It felt one step too many.
Yeah.
Yeah. One choke too many.
Yeah.
It was just like...
It was reaching. It was really reaching.
Yeah. And then Marshall walks in, and then Krenna's all cleaned up, and he's just like, she died.
She did.
Yeah, she died as he's wiping off his hands.
I know. She's dead.
I mean, she definitely looked like she died. It's not.
I wouldn't have said seizure. I would have just been like,
poisoned?
Poisoned.
I mean... She looked rough.
And this burial at sea. Is that what they did?
They did a burial at sea because Captain Aslan...
Is that what they did at sea? They would just like... I know they do that to you in space. At least that's what space movies have told me.
I know for a fact. When you are buried in space, they launch.
They do. If you've ever seen Astra with Brad Pitt.
I've seen it in a lot of. I've seen it in a lot of movies. I don't know if that's actually what they do
I don't
when
know.
you die in space, but I don't know.
This is what they do to the old lady's body.
I mean, I don't know why you would do this. Like, especially if like this is like an emergency and you're hoping to be survived.
Because aren't there morgues on cruise ships?
They're in an infirmary. So,
Exactly.
Like, there should be.
So I just think if you do die on a cruise ship, or they keep you on the ship until you dock.
Yeah.
You don't just fly them out to sea.
Oh yeah, we just dropped her in the water.
We just dropped her in the water for the fish.
Exactly. So not necessarily is probably what we're probably done. I mean, maybe before.
Maybe.
You know.
This is 1980 after all. We don't know.
But like, if you don't have space on your ship, then maybe
they got plenty of space. There's
know.
like 6 of them.
Oh yeah, this is an ocean line. This is fucking huge ship. But this is also a burial at sea because I feel like this is a sacrifice to the death ship.
Yeah, no, I knew we were going there, but you know, I had to.
So Captain Aslan's reading from a German Bible, but we don't know that he's reading. The crew doesn't know he's reading from a German Bible, but we know he's reading from a German Bible because
God, it would have been like a wild if he was just like holding a copy of Mein Kampf. Or
right,
something.
like if there's a big like swastika.
Yeah,
like,
you're just like,
So. Which I also thought they were only doing a burial at sea, not for the sacrifice, but because of this right here, where goes Death Ship. DS.
Death Ship.
Death Ship, like, you know, pulls a bamboozle on the crew and gets rid of its lifeboats while they're at the burial scene. So it's just like, haha, I gotcha. You know, no life ships for you because, you know, no lifeboats for you because you were, you know, you weren't looking.
Ha pranked you. You can't get off you now.
Pwned. Was it? What's that? Punked.
Punked. Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
And he just pops out. You thought you were on an SS interrogation ship. Joke's on you.
And you're like, oh, remember?
Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton. Oh, where's Ashton? I knew it was him.
I knew this wasn't a legitimate SS interrogation ship. This
goofing around.
Fuck. So then we see
the captain now has his full German uniform on,
and I think this is where I was talking to Ming. Ming was watching it with me, and she's like, "This is where she would have noticed he checked out." where he put on clean clothes,
exactly,
and he's in full captain garb,
exactly. So you'd have been like, "What's up with that guy?"
I'm like,
Sir, you're a little confused.
Like you put on a suit. Yeah. We're fighting for our life.
We're fighting for our lives, but you're up there playing fucking captain right now.
And then he puts on his, I mean, it is a nice shot. He's there.
It is a beautiful
There's the
shot.
Sunsets in the background.
The window's looking a little spooky.
Yeah. The wind's blowing. He's got his captain garb on, which this is, it's not a German uniform.
No, it's not. And yeah, you don't know for sure. It's just a captain's uniform.
Yeah, I don't know if they had different.
They would have, but they didn't go that far, I guess, for this movie.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I mean, they sure do. They might as well put him in a freaking Nazi uniform.
Yeah, because at this point, it still had when I was watching the first time, no fucking clue at this point.
Only because I told you, because I don't know I think in the last episode when we did Ghost Ship, because I had watched it before and I was like, it's Nazis. And you were like, oh, weird.
Oh, I already forgot about it.
I don't know. You could edit it out if you want, but I feel like I might have said it. I was like, it's weird because all of a sudden it's Nazis.
Oh, yeah. George Kennedy plays this scene really well. He invites Marshall, Aslan invites Marshall up to the bridge, which this doesn't even look like a bridge. This looks like a lake.
Yeah.
Like a cabin.
It's just a cabin.
But they have the big wheel there that I mentioned before.
This is so funny to me, but he does it so great.
Yeah, he plays it serious. Now,
He's so serious.
Academy Award winning actor George Kennedy, best known for Naked Gun, like is in this scene. He's acting his fucking ass off.
Yeah,
and he is possessed by this ship, and he's like, "You think you're gonna take this ship from me? You try steering it."
And then he can't.
Yeah. He plays it super serious.
So serious. And then, so Marshall's like, I can't move this steering wheel. And someone I know is going to come at us because what it's actually called. It's not called a steering wheel.
Yeah, I could have looked
it
up. I looked
up
a lot of things
but
about this movie.
I did too, but I did not look
up
at that.
What things called. Hold on a second.
You can look it
The
up.
bow? Not the bow.
But anyway, so Marshall can't move it. And once again, so serious, goes, this is how you handle a ship. And then just like nonchalant, just starts steering that fucking wheel. Right, Mish? She just stood up because she was so impressed.
Helm.
I see. I would never have gotten that.
The helm,
but
yeah.
Thank you. The helm. But yes, it's just like, this is my ship. I'm the only one that can steer it.
And you know what I typed into Google it? Big wheel on the boat.
What's that big wheel on the boat called?
What's the big wheel on the boat called, Mom?
So yeah, he's so serious.
He plays it great.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, this is my chair. He's like, you can't take this ship away from me.
And he's like, this is the whole thing. Just like, I plan to sail this ship for eternity, he says.
Yeah. Which is like, oh shit, you lost it.
Yeah. You lost your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they all are just like, okay, we're all going to go to sleep. I would not be feeling very restful.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah. Oh, this was another thing that kind of got me too. Two people have died.
2 people have died.
Well, not to mention the entire other boat of people that didn't survive the initial crash.
The entire cruise ship that you're on. I would assume you made some friends.
Yeah, but Chitty Chitty Bang Bang here is putting these Roman kids here to sleep, and just like, I'm like, no way are these kids going to sleep.
She's just like, all right, guys, we're just gonna let's lay down. I'm just gonna read you a bedtime story.
And then they lock
we're on a death ship. Yeah, I thought.
And then they just like put these kids to sleep and just close the door. I would also have not let these kids sleep in the room by themselves.
Yeah,
like, because we find out in a second that one kid's gonna get up to pee on the fucking death ship. He's just gonna wander
again.
Again.
I know. I understand. Like everyone's going to the bathroom, but this like really exercises that in this movie.
Fuck. And then this is where some of that mood lighting comes in, because that scene. So Krennic comes in. He's starting to talk to his wife, which I believe his name was Lori again, right?
No, Lori and Nick. Those are the young. I said young earlier, and he yelled at me. They're 40.
That's right. I'm sorry. Margaret.
Margaret's his wife.
Margaret Marshall and Captain Trevor Marshall. Yeah. So he's talking over. He's like, we got to get off this boat. I mean, I thought that was clear. I
thought that was what we were doing.
I thought that was
they got on the boat. No one has tried to find help.
Well, they tried to turn on the radio. The radio,
but it was like, we're gonna find clothes.
And then, well, I mean, you want to get comfortable, right? So then they cut over to down the hall where Lori and Nick are just like, let's get some rest. And then
so they're gonna go rest as well.
Yeah, they're gonna go rest.
Yeah,
yeah. She's like, Lori's like, I don't know if I can get it up because you don't got a monkey mask.
That really did it for her.
Yeah.
So,
some more foreshadowing.
So we cut
to Aslan, and he's getting glimpses of what's going to happen. The ship is feeding him, which, I mean, I get it. This was edited afterwards, and those were thrown in, but essentially, like, the ship is feeding him visions of, how to get rid of your next sacrifices, essentially, and then I'm not sure what comes first, if the pee scene comes first or if Lori. So like I said, the kid gets up, Ben, and he's like, I gotta pee again.
I've gotta pee for the 3rd time in this movie.
Which, I mean, aren't there like bedpans on a ship?
Yeah.
So you don't have to get up.
So. But I don't think you really need to use a bedpan unless you're ill, no?
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Unless you were like, don't you get out of your fucking bed. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I would have told this fucking kid. Like, two people.
Yeah, don't be wandering around the ship. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they don't even walk. They just start walking around.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't even.
Oh, there might be a bathroom downstairs, not in the hallway I was just in.
I also don't feel like it'd be that far away, but
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they're just wandering, but yeah, everybody's just
clocked out for the night.
Like you just mentioned, he was like, oh God, you're never going to believe this, honey. The captain has taken a role of a German officer. We need to get off this ship.
But let's take a nap.
Let's go to bed real quick.
What the fuck?
The kids are in the other room, way down the corridor.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm shit
You can't
talking.
even hear them.
Yeah. But I guess I'm shit talking because like Ben finds a bathroom, so I guess
He does.
yeah.
But now we're back with Nick and Lori. Nick is still like, "Do you love me?"
Which,
And this woman does not.
yeah, she's just like, if you would have told me a week ago or like 2 days ago, I would have said no. But like now,
Maybe. She literally goes, "But now, maybe."
Well, yeah, more power to her. You know, she's not feeling it.
And then this, I guess, just goes to say, like, no wonder she was like, "Where's Nick?" She doesn't care.
Well, that's fair.
She doesn't care.
Yeah, I just met you. You're just a John.
Yeah, like we just had sex once.
It's not a thing.
Leave me alone. Like,
You know, stop.
I'm not in love with you.
Stop being so clingy, Nick. This is why you're at sea. You can't have sustainable relationships. You're never home.
You're never here.
You're never here, Nick. And when you are here, you're not here.
You're not. I really need you to be more present.
Fucking A, Nick.
God. Also, Lori's weird little scenes coming up soon too. When I say the kids bum me out, this is what I meant. I got so bored watching them walk around this boat.
I mean, I was hoping since this was the 80s, like these kids might have gotten knocked out. Spoiler alert: these kids survive, but
They do.
Like,
Nothing happens to them.
but like I was like, oh man, that'd be awesome. I would love it. You know, I loved when old movies, knocked off some fucking kids. You know,
So did I.
You know, you don't get it as much anymore.
You don't. Because it's not fair. They are innocent, but you should.
Well, I mean, most of these people are innocent. Like they were just on a cruise doing their cruise thing, you know. And then, like I said, here's Lori's weird scene. She's in the shower.
She gets locked in the shower. She can't get out of it.
And then it just starts. Which I mean,
it starts. Out of the shower head starts blood. It's just red paint, but they're telling us it's blood.
Yeah, and it's
which is a great B movie effect. I do love that.
The redness or the
redness, just the redness of it's just.
Yeah, I did love how like back then like everything was bright red and not black. Like
and so you are getting like a little bit of the Psycho vibe here with the shower scene.
It's getting really intense. The camera shaking. She's free. I mean, I would freak out too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just dripping fucking blood. And
she can't get out. So
she can't get out, and Nick can't break in. Yeah, and we're total nude shot. We got full top to bottom.
Yep, full nudity.
Full nudity
for everyone that wants to know that.
Full bush.
Full bush. What's that website called?
I like a full bush.
Is that what it's called? You said that. No hesitation. It's like you know what you're talking about.
It's from a Tom Segura bit.
I know. You like a full bush?
Yeah. His dad told it to him on his deathbed. Yeah. It was weird.
Like, but anyway, that's Lori's death scene.
Well, no, not yet.
Well,
she's freaking out. She's losing her mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that she passed out because she was so exhausted from exerting herself, or that it killed her in the process, or that she passes out and then they threw her off the.
Yeah, well, then I assumed that she was dead before they threw her off the ship. What did you think?
I thought she was passed out. I mean, I wanted to see how that would have killed her, unless she just like I assume she just like passes out from
just exhaustion,
and shock, or what?
Shock. And this scene a little bit, but more so when Nick dies, when I was like, when I mentioned A Clockwork Orange, because that movie, though I do love it, the word unsettling is like the perfect word for that movie.
Yeah, you only get a little bit of trippiness with Lori's death right now, because the camera starts to like teeter and totter, just trying to show you that she's really, really losing her fucking grip right now.
And I do like it. I like this the red effect of the paint, blood, like her in the shower. There's the the Alfred Hitchcock to it.
Oh,
I like it.
That could have been. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
It was creepy. Like, I was a fan of that. And now we're back with this little shit.
Yeah, because then we cut back to fucking Ben, and it's almost supposed to be like he's comic relief.
Yeah.
As he's going around this ghost ship and doors are closing behind him. And it's just like, it pulls you out of those little scenes. It pulls you out of like the intensity we were just looking at right now. And then for some reason, you know, Marshall gets up and he's just, I'm going to go check on the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids are gone because that's what you do.
Because we were just taking a nap and not worrying about getting off this boat.
Yeah, I would have totally fucking... Yeah, totally not gone to sleep at all.
I know.
And try to get off this fucking boat. Also, would have stayed up just in case Captain Aslan is going to try to kill me in my sleep.
Exactly. My adrenaline would have been so high that there's been no way that I've just been like, yeah, let's go sit down.
Ooh, do you one better? Aslan kidnaps the kids while they're sleeping. See, that would have been, you know.
Yeah. They could have used the kids way more. Once again, I was like, the kids really bummed me out. There's no point.
Mm-hmm. And if everybody's getting possessed, we could have had an Evil Dead sort of scenario.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
where Marshall's got to fight.
Why doesn't the wife get possessed by someone?
Which, not fun fact, but which I kind of thought of later because we get to her rescue scene and the lack thereof.
Lack thereof.
Yeah. And see, this is a weird thing because I don't know why you're having interactions with. All right, so Aslan finds the kids. You think he grabbed them by the arm. You think he's going to do something. He hands them over to Marshall.
And then he leaves.
And then he just leaves, which I don't know why Marshall and Aslan are having any conversation.
Exactly. What was the point of that? You think, like, you're supposed to be terrified of this captain. He's got the kids, and then he's just like, here they are.
Yeah.
Bye. Like, your kids are safe now.
Yeah. So Nick comes and finds Marshall.
He's like, Marshall, please, it's Lori, because Lori's still freaking the fuck out in the bloody shower. And then they get back and shower's clean.
I do like how it was just like there was never any blood there. That cool. Gives me really, really nice, you know, haunted house vibes.
Exactly. Because it's like Shining.
Or Amityville.
You always think like Amityville, Shining.
Like how the house possessed the guy in Amityville. Basically, this is doing the same thing to Aslan. Oh, this movie was based off of the 17th century story, The Flying Dutchman, about a ghost ship.
Hell yeah, so The Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, everybody's kind of also a good name for a band.
Yeah.
So they go back to the bathroom. Lori's not there. Then we find out that Aslan he's dropped off the kids with Marshall. Then
he just like, I'm just gonna, here's your kids, Marshall. All right. And then he goes and grabs Lori and then he just chucks her off.
Yeah. Just throws her off. And what does he say? Like, sacrifice. What does it say? Like, we commend your body to the ocean or some shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, Misha's going to see her
Papa.
Yeah.
And I do like this chase scene. This is like a little chase scene because he's such a big dude.
Yeah.
In a tiny hallway.
Big dude in a tiny hallway.
Yeah. And everybody's following him. And somebody had put it really, really nicely that they can't catch up to them. So they say that they can't catch up to Captain Marshall because they're stuck in slow motion.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. Here it is.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh, we can't catch up to
him. So Marshall and Nick are stuck in slow motion so they can't catch up to Captain Aslan.
Exactly. Oh,
that was perfect. That
is really great.
That was somebody I can't take credit for that. That was fucking perfect.
You can take credit for it. I like it.
No. So I heard it from somebody else, but yeah.
You can't catch up to them because they're in the slow. Yeah, I like it. It's a good joke.
So then we're getting to our big reveal. So hence the big reveal.
Yes.
The slowdown right before the big reveal.
Slow down before the reveal.
I mean, there's something about this ghost ship where I didn't really feel how big the ghost ship was because I feel like they're only in the same the same couple of places.
Yeah, they only use like the infirmary.
Yeah.
Nailed it. I know you said it before. I couldn't. I was like, in my head, I was like, I said nursery, and now I'm excited that I got it right. Yeah. But again, I said before, I like the ship. It's fun. Here we go. Nazi room. And it's uncomfortable.
It's very Nazi. It's
ew.
like
nope, there's no hiding it. Like you were saying earlier, imagine you were the art director for this.
No, if you're the prop department, like you got to put all this stuff together.
Shit. You got to.
I mean, maybe they pulled it from another B movie.
Maybe there's that lovely Hitler painting shrine.
they run it after Aslan. They run into this room, and this room is stark red, and there's Nazi memorabilia everywhere. And then I do like how everything really starts to get revealed right now.
Yes.
They walk into another infirmary, and they start to notice, they start to see all these little hints. He comes across a tray of gold teeth, which is just like, that's, and then you start to see Nick start to really lose it, which they play it up. Like Nick,
I think Nick does a great job.
Nick
does a
great job of losing his
really
fucking
does.
shit.
Like, and yeah, so you start to put it all together. Like, there's a bunch of teeth in here, and
like, why would you have gold teeth in a tray? Like,
yeah.
And then Marshall puts it together. He's just like, this must have been an interrogation ship. Oh, and then the other drawer full of jewelry.
Interrogation ship. Concentration camp ship.
Yeah, concentration camp ship. I was like, interrogation ship?
Yeah.
Oh, you think they used the word interrogation just so they wouldn't use
concentration camp ship?
Yeah, basically it's a death camp
that's
ship.
That's what it is.
Death ship is a death camp ship.
Death camp is a... Sorry. Yep. Death ship is a death camp ship. Yeah. It sure is.
And then we started coming across all the dead bodies, all the mummified dead bodies.
Yep.
How they're chained up. In barrels that they might have been drowned. This one coming up is not.
They're all tortured, obviously. Yeah. Every single one.
It's a torture ship.
It's a torture ship. Yeah. It is a concentration camp ship.
This one was not on the seesaw, drowning backwards. That one's rough.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. It's. And then we get to the giant, and yeah. So Nick is like.
I mean, these corpses are like gnarly.
They're cool. I do like the way, again, this is 1980, and remember we watched Cube 2? Like how
those bodies
those
look?
shitty corpses.
Yeah.
And now in this one, it's actually really cool looking.
Like these prop mummies look.
So this
great.
Must be in fact, where you mentioned that Hitler is uncredited, because there is, like you said, film of Hitler from World War II.
Yeah.
In this movie.
That would make sense. That makes sense to me now. Yeah. And
Nick tries to destroy it, but they can't figure it out.
Well, they start to lose their fucking mind, and they are in the bottom where they keep the prisoners, but then all of a sudden they turn around and they're back in the movie house. And then the film's playing. Nick is trying to break the film off the wall, which you wouldn't, but the movie keeps playing, and he starts losing his fucking mind. And this is where you sort of get some of that really trippy, surreal.
Yes, this is when it really starts, especially
the
for
70s
Nick.
Influence, for sure.
And the way he self-harms himself, Nick, don't you get that kind of like when he basically starts scratching himself?
Oh, yeah, he's just basically because the film's playing on his chest.
That's what I meant. Like that's when I was like, this motherfucker. Is really fucking losing it.
Yeah, he's like, get it off me, get it off me, get it off me. But then, all right, so as we turned around, flipped into the movie house, Nick turns around again, and now he's on the deck, and he's fighting Aslan, and he just falls into the pit. I don't know what you would call this part of the ship.
What is that part of the ship?
I think
is that where you would like catch?
Yeah, it's like for fish and for like whales. So it's like
is it for sharks? What is that for?
Yeah, I think this is where you would. Essentially, I think this might be like a fishing ship, and this is where they would like.
Yeah. So this scene goes on for a long time, a lot longer than I thought it was going to go for.
Yeah.
Nick struggling in a pile of dead bodies, which is a cool look. But I'm going to go right back to saying unsettling.
Yeah, because this is one of the parts I liked about it. This is like, I don't know why Aslan had to fuck, or why the ghost ship or the death ship had to fuck with Nick so much.
Yeah.
And just fucking break him.
Really?
Yeah, because they throw Nick in with all the dead bodies at the bottom of this pit, in this fishing net. And the fishing net pulls up and there's all these dead bodies on him, and Nick is on side. He's losing his fucking mind.
Just screaming.
Yeah. Which, yeah, it goes on for a little bit. But that just adds to the unsettling nature of it, for sure. And then I don't know. Yeah.
No, go for it.
And then I don't know how this kills him.
I don't know how that killed him. I was gonna say the exact same thing. So it just folds. Like the captain just kind of folds the net up as if it were to like, let's bring up and I don't see how that would have killed him unless he got impaled by a bone.
Yeah.
Or something. But that's how Nick dies.
I don't know if it was trying to imply like it broke him in half or something like that.
I think it was like it snapped him in half, but it didn't do it very well.
Yeah. And then it just, dunks it back in the water, and then that's the end of Nick.
Yeah.
But Nick had the best, probably.
Nick had the best death. It was like the one where I was like, oh.
And then, like I said, all this trippiness where Death Ship can just move people from room to room all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Now, Marshall, he's in the movie house. Now, all of a sudden, he's back in the bridge with, Aslan, and they're having a discussion. Apparently, this was a longer scene here where him and Aslan and Marshall having a long discussion right before he stabs him. But all of a sudden, we flip back to the bridge. They're having a discussion, and Marshall just stabs him real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no lead up to it.
Yeah.
Other than, like, I'm going to...
Just
the boat,
with a butter knife, by the way, everybody.
Which is
with a
hurt.
butter knife.
Would fucking hurt.
Ouch.
Which just, all Aslan is telling him is like, hey, the boat needs your blood. The boat runs on blood.
The boat runs on blood.
Yeah, the boat runs on blood. Title for the episode.
The boat runs on blood. There you go.
And then he's just, I'm just going to use your kids for the boat.
I just gotta throw the kids in for the boat.
or we're going to title it that this boat runs on kids.
This boat runs on kid blood.
Duncan.
Duncan.
What was it? America runs on Duncan.
America. Boat runs on Duncan.
Speaking
boat
of.
runs on boat.
Courtney, have you ever felt tired in the morning? It's just like,
sometimes when I get up, I feel a little tired in the morning.
And I feel like I can't start my day unless I've had some Dunkin'.
Yeah. A cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's the freezer full of dead bodies.
So Marshall stabs Aslan.
Yeah.
He grabs his family. He grabs blankets for some reason. And then they come across the freezer. And then there's all these frozen dead bodies. I would have loved if these bodies came to life.
Yes.
Would have been missed opportunity.
God. But they do look cool.
Yeah.
They look cool and frozen.
Yeah, those are real bodies. Those are real just painted bodies.
That's really cool.
Easy effect, right? We don't need.
But that's what I mean. They were real anyway. Why not make them go,
blah.
Just spook them a little bit?
Yeah, just fucking spook them a little bit. Why not? Or have, even if it wasn't true, even if it was just like the death ship messing with him.
Yeah.
Like it just grabs his hand.
Yeah.
He's grabbing
something that simple is very effective.
Missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I had another missed opportunity here. Oh yeah. Cause this could have been like, if this was like a full on possession movie, everybody, like I said, everybody could have gotten possessed.
Everyone should have been possessed. There should have been different Nazi soldiers and nurses and things like that. They should have possessed them.
Something. Not Hitler though, because
no, that's just too far.
It's too much. That's too far. We've already had enough.
No,
they're really late on this.
His painting, and then that was enough.
There was like 4 or 5 images. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
there was one too many.
One too many Hitlers.
Or 4 too many.
Yeah, I didn't care for it at all.
Yeah, it's fine.
Put the life jackets on, children.
Yeah, so you got some life vests from the freezer, from the dead bodies.
The fucking dead bodies.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I guess there was also a life raft in there, which I don't know how you would have found that, but how you would have figured that out.
Me either. And more with the blankets. The mom's like, "Carry the blankets, darling." Like, okay.
I mean, I guess it might get cold at night if you're out in the ocean. It might get fucking freezing.
It's not going to be my first thought, though.
No, not at all. I got a double neck sweater. I'm fine.
My turtleneck sweaters. We have matching turtleneck sweaters on.
Boom. All right. So then they run out to the deck of the ship, and Marshall's like, "I'm gonna fuck with this ship. I'm gonna make it stand still." He dunks the anchor. And it's very, considering all the supernatural stuff that was happening, I don't appreciate that Aslan all of a sudden just reverts to a gun.
A gun, yeah.
But I do appreciate how he's shooting at some kids.
Yeah, I do really like that.
I do really like that. These kids are safety.
Fuck these kids.
Fuck these kids.
It does kind of take away from it with the gun, but
Yeah, because you could have, if you're being possessed by the ship, I mean, essentially, it's not telling that it's telling us that he's not possessed by the ship, that he's influenced by the ship, because he is not supernatural in himself, because he was able to just get hurt by a knife, and now he needs a gun. But he did so much other trippy shit before.
Yeah, I know. And then the way we're coming up here on the captain finally getting it.
Well, we're coming into this is our fight scene, right?
The fight scene between Marshall and Aslan.
Oh, I pulled the old switcheroo.
The old switcheroo.
Oh, you
hid
thought I was in
behind
front.
you.
Yeah, I thought I was in front of you, but I'm really behind
Exactly.
you.
Little classic switcheroo.
I do like these old fight scenes with just like one hit. Like,
it's very Batman.
Oh man, here's a punch. Here's a kick.
Exactly.
You know, like
they're gonna lose that little floaty that they flew.
Oh, 100%. I think those were really the kids jumping off this boat.
I think they really tossed those kids off that boat.
Yeah. So Margaret throws a life raft off the boat. Then throws the kids off the boat right after.
And she's like, "Go get it!"
Yeah, 100%. And then she's captured by Aslan because Marshall is knocked out.
Yeah.
And see, this was the weird thing that I kind of got. Like, also, Aslan could have just shot this kid in the head. Would that have been a good enough sacrifice for the death ship? You know?
I mean, Death Ship's Death Ship. It doesn't matter.
Death Ship is Death Ship. You can't.
That could be another. Death Ship is Death Ship. It doesn't matter if you're a kid.
Oh, man. Death Ship does not discriminate.
It doesn't.
No. Except races and genders.
Except that part.
So,
okay, Marshall's fine.
Actually, so this was like a little bit more of like that lack thereof, where there was that fight scene, but Marshall doesn't actually beat Aslan. He just wakes up, finds Lori. No, finds Lori's her real name. Finds Margaret, and then they just jump off the fucking boat. Yeah, then they just leave.
Which they should have done the whole fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to find a boat, right? Like, they didn't find the raft till a second ago.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, that was, I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate, like, all right, you know, our hero didn't actually pull anything heroic.
True.
You know?
Yeah, he didn't.
These kids are fucking.
The kids are suddenly badass.
Kids are fucking gone.
Kids are gone. They got
orphans now.
They're like, bye, mom and dad.
They inherit.
We got the fucking raft with the little paddles. Eat shit.
Yeah. So like, you know, Marshall finds Margaret, but you don't really understand how Margaret actually got out.
Yeah, you don't, because also the captain, like, he calls her, like, he's like, "Come on, bitch." I'm pretty sure at one point, doesn't he?
A little aggressive, George Kennedy. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
I expected more from an Academy Award-winning actor.
Yeah, and then like you said, she just kind of gets out. She just like walks out, and she's like, "Oh, honey, let's get the kids and get out of here."
Yeah, and then so there's no more sacrifices for the boat.
Yeah.
So this is where the boat, Death Ship, turns on Aslan. Because there's no more blood.
Because look, he can no longer steer it.
No more.
Mm-mm.
And then
he is a fun actor, though. He was enjoyable, like, to watch.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Like I said, he's got presence.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it his all.
He did. He really tried.
You know how to get Death Ship to follow orders?
Shoot at it.
Not shooting.
Don't shoot at it. It's gonna get mad.
It's gonna get mad.
They do end up meeting up with their children. They make it to the raft.
Yeah, they make it to the raft. Yeah, you got to. Even though Ben and his sister were fucking out of there.
They were.
They did not stop.
Out of there. There was like, get out of here.
I don't know why Aslan just decides to shoot up his boat.
I know.
It's not gonna make it listen to him.
And it's also not, again, with him and the gun, it's just like, okay.
Yeah. And
shooting inside of a metal, like, room never does anyone any good. You're gonna bust open your eardrums.
Oof. Oh, really? That a thing? Oh, because the echo of the metal?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Death Ship reacts to Aslan shooting up the ship, bursted up a pipe. You know, Aslan fell like 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's
getting grinded into gears.
Ooh, because Death Ship runs on blood.
Death Ship runs on blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool. I do like him. I do like his arm going through the gears.
It was good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the end of Aslan.
Yep. I do.
But
like
it's weird though because
it's
he comes
fun
back
zooming in and out of this. Woo,
they do a lot of zooming and zooming out. But it's weird how Aslan comes back 3 days later. You know.
Yeah.
Language of the wardrobe.
Yeah. I knew. I was like, I think that's ow, that lion.
Yeah. And then I do like how they don't just like. They don't give you a whole. They gave you a lot in the beginning, but at the end they're like, "We got to wrap this shit up."
They were like, "Yo."
Yeah,
this movie's gone too long.
100%. Here's a helicopter. You guys are saved.
Yeah, rescued. Cool. Thumbs up.
Movie's over.
Movie over.
Yeah.
They wrapped it up real quick. They're like, "Look, like, yay, we found people." They're like, "Look at us." But we can't end it just like that.
Oh yeah, because I think we cut back to Death Ship.
You cut back to Death Ship.
We cut back to Death Ship.
Death Ship lives on.
Yeah, living out there, just doing its thing, coming across any survivors.
Death Ship goes on to run into another cruise liner
or something. Lure some other
Death Ship versus Ghost Ship.
Ooh,
we could have this captain versus Desmond Harrington.
Or that's pretty good. Damn, that's a B movie waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call them B. Do they still call them B movies? Like those really low budget ones that come up?
Like what? Like Sharknadoes?
Yeah. Is that called the B movie?
I would say, yeah. I saw that guy that's in it the other day.
The 90210?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian Zierling.
He's just walking around?
Yeah, he was in the store.
Oh, that's cool.
With his daughters. I think it was Divorced Dad Sunday.
Hey. All right.
That's it. But like I said, the ending shot is Death Ship.
That's a different ship, though.
It's a totally different ship, but you're supposed to believe that it's Death Ship.
Yeah, because all right, so Death Ship's painted black, but that ship was white.
Yeah, but that one you can't tell. It's dark.
I do like it, like how this would be like if this was a show, it would just end with like Air Death Ship's at it again.
Yeah,
because they play this sort of like it's evil theme song that's got going on.
Yeah,
just out there sailing, causing a menace. That's a different ship altogether.
It really is.
That's like it doesn't.
They couldn't get the other ships. They're like, just film that one.
Oh no! That's Death Ship having another victim. Oh,
well then I got that wrong too.
Oh, well, tune in next time for Death Ship Part 2.
There's only one Death Ship.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, considering we went into this movie a little hesitant, or we're into this episode a little hesitant because we knew what this movie was, now we had a lot to say.
Yeah, it was like it ended up being because we weren't sure we were gonna do this one. I threw it out there, and then we're just like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, we needed to. If there's another poster that looks a lot like this,
I want to say it's Ghost Boat.
I thought you were making that up.
No. Look up Ghost Boat. I think it's more recent. Unless you want to do Titanic 666.
Oh man, I was gonna look it up the other day. I forgot to. Titanic.
But like those are the only one. I mean, because Titanic 666, the poster isn't not quite on theme. It's fun though.
So Courtney, what would you rate this movie? Oh no, it doesn't look anything like this. This poster is.
Oh, Ghost Boat doesn't?
No, Titanic 666 looks like a drama.
Death Ship. What am I gonna give you, Death Ship? You know what? 3. I'm doing it 3. What should we do it? Bloody Showers. That's you're better at that. I like Laurie's death. I like Nick's death.
Yeah, you got to be really into like B movies if you love B movies and you like some of this early exploitation.
But I do understand
genre.
why it's a cult classic, and I give it its respect for that.
Yeah, it's very in line with like, Werewolves of Women of the SS and stuff like that. So like if you're into that kind of stuff, 100% I would recommend you got to at least watch it once. I think in its cult standing, it's had a little bit better, like 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I think that's only out of like 5 people. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
2.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so like a 50% on Letterboxd essentially. But 77% of people who reviewed it on Google liked it.
Okay.
So that's
I did like it. I watched it twice. Like I didn't have to. I guess third time now for this. Like
yeah, like it has its moments, for being a B movie, and considering it has, like, I guess for that time this has to be like top quality actors.
Yes.
So like that's saying something. They were able to pull some stuff off.
They were able to pull it off, and that acting from all of them is great, even though it just gets drawn out.
Yeah, I think
but B movie. I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like 4 out of 10. Death ships.
Death ships. I'm doing 3 out of 10 death ships.
Yeah, because it's an okay watch, but I'm not gonna put it on for fun. No, probably.
And the Nazi room was like a lot
intense.
It was just like, oh.
Yeah, it has that sort of
yeah. But I'll give it. I do like it that it gave me a little bit of that from A Clockwork Orange, because The Clockwork Orange is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that trippiness associated with the 70s. But I mean, of course, this is only 1980, so we could really call this like 1979.2.
Exactly.
Like it's not. It doesn't really start to feel like the 80s till much later.
Oh, but no. I guess our next question is: Would we survive Death Ship?
Oh shit! I do
Who
not.
Who are we in Death Ship?
Well, I think we are survivors of the cruise liner. We land on Death Ship, and no. Are we surviving it? I feel like we are not part of that family, which is also bullshit too. But like only the family survives.
Exactly.
Yeah, like. I would have been down if Margaret.
It's hard to feel a little relatable to this one because we're like, we don't have families.
We don't have functioning families.
We don't have functioning families.
There's no sign of any sort of like problems in that family whatsoever. Other than that kid's got to pee a lot.
That little boy pisses a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna probably end up being a serial killer.
Lori and Nick were just, having a fling. Lori was just like, "Look, man, you're getting too serious."
Horror movie cardinal sin 1.
Yeah,
sex.
You die right away if you're fucking.
No strings attached sex.
No. You have to be in love and married.
And when you're in love and married, you have to sleep in separate beds like they do in this movie. You saw that, right? Because they had bunk beds.
But I mean, they're also on a ship.
Yeah, they weren't trying to canoodle.
No. They had to get their rest. It's very important.
Well, there's a psycho killer on the loose.
There's a psycho killer pretending he's a German soldier, but we must rest.
Yeah, we must rest.
So then we can get off the ship later. I don't know. I guess yes. I feel like.
I mean, it's like if you're walking into a haunted house that's essentially out to kill you from the beginning. Would you survive? That's a little hard one. I don't think we would survive this one. I would like to think like, at the beginning, like, let's get off this fucking boat.
Yeah.
But I'm also like a scavenger a little bit and a little bit of a hoarder. So I'm like, what are we going to find that we can like put together to get off this fucking boat real quick? That's the first thing I'm thinking about. Like, how are we getting off this boat? What are we scrounging? If they stop to rest a lot.
They do.
So, I mean, I get it. They've been through a traumatic experience, but I'm like, if the boat's not running on anything except for Duncan, then like, I don't know. Yeah. I think we're dead.
Yeah,
you
probably.
Think?
Yeah, you're right. Based on this, only the family survives. You're only if you're a wholesome family.
Wholesome American family.
Wholesome American family.
Yeah.
The rest of us don't look so good.
Yeah.
Misha, you would have made it though.
She would have survived.
She would have. She's like, what?
And that's
There we go.
that's the episode. As we
Right
say,
as the police are arriving. Gotta go.